Hi there. This is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about how to reverse thymus aging and the TRIIM trial, TRIIM. And the TRIIM trial is notable for being something like one of the top couple percent of studies that were broadcast and read by other scientists all over the world when it first came out. So this is an interesting study. It sure turned on scientists. What's your thymus gland? Your thymus gland, when you are born at birth, is almost the size of your heart. It's a huge gland in the middle of your chest, and it's basically teaching your immune system to function properly when a newborn baby is now thrust into the world and has to face it on their own. And it involutes pretty rapidly. By age 50, it's basically a little bit of fat. It's not visible anymore. In a chest x-ray in a newborn baby shows it. By about age 3 or 4, you don't see the thymus gland anymore. So it involutes pretty quickly. And by age 62 or 3, your thymus gland is basically out of luck. Okay, now another bit of basic science. We now know that your epigenome predicts your age more accurately than your calendar. You die when your epigenome deteriorates. Okay, and what is your epigenome? It's the markers on the surface of your chromosomes, not the chromosomes themselves. Chromosomes don't change over a lifespan, but your epigenome changes dramatically in response to all sorts of environmental stressors. And your epigenome is passed on in part to your children, so it's sort of a genetic kind of thing. Well, you have about 30 million markers on the surfaces of your chromosomes. So the epigenome is not a small database. It's a huge database. And it's maintained by your sirtuin proteins. And your sirtuin proteins are only fed by the energy molecule NAD, not by ATP. In fact, the very first cell that existed on planet Earth had to have a sirtuin protein to repair DNA. And as we got more and more sophisticated up the evolutionary ladder, we developed more sirtuin proteins, so humans have 7 of them. But they're still fed only by NAD. And as we get over age 55, 60, our NAD production drops dramatically. Our sirtuin proteins don't work very well. And curiously, there's an intersection between the health of your epigenome and your thymus gland. Okay, so let's measure your epigenetic age, which we now can do. There are now companies that offer you measuring your epigenome age. If you type it into Google, you can look up a bunch of companies. I won't recommend any one particular one. I've done it to myself, and I'm 3 years younger than my stated age. I must be doing something right. But let's do the TRIIM trial. Was involved in doing what are the nutrients we need to give to help resuscitate your epigenome and see if that makes a difference on the thymus gland. And that's exactly what it did. What they gave was, I think it was something like, I don't know how many men it was, 9 men, age 51 to 65, who were given a cocktail of growth hormone, DHEA, simple old DHEA, metformin, 3,000 units of vitamin D, and 50 milligrams of zinc. That was it. Okay? And after a year, their thymus gland was much bigger. And most interestingly, they had a healthy library of T cells, which we don't have. This is interesting. And when you measured their epigenetic age, they had gotten 2 years younger after 1 year of therapy. What will work for me? I'm not taking growth hormone, but I'm taking the peptides that make me make my own growth hormone, and I'm taking every single last one of those other things. Metformin, NAD, DHEA, vitamin D. You can too. We can make a dramatic difference in the age of your epigenome. Interesting idea, isn't it? We can now measure it and fix it. So what will work for me? That's what I'm up to, and that's what I hope you think about doing too. Find a functional medicine doctor who will help you with that. Look up the TRIIM trial, TRIIM, most read article in Nature's history. Dr. Dr. John Whitcomb for News and Nutrition.